This is the United Uprising channel. Welcome to today's show. Almost every single day there is something for me to talk about. And I'm not even just talking about craziness going on in the news, trying to explain to people about the carbon footprint and gaslighting that our government's doing, but just in general, I can find content on a daily basis by just going to YouTube trending, because every single thing being promoted on there, for the most part, 9 out of 10 things, every single day, there's something on there that has something to do with promoting Satanism, making Satanists into victims, making Satan into a protagonist, which is good guy terminology in the movie world or the fiction world. But the truth of the matter is, this is a grooming process that we're seeing. They're constantly telling people about God and the devil, yet we live in a society that believes in evolution and believes in atheism. The majority of people are atheists, right? And even the people claiming to be atheists are constantly putting out propaganda that's showing Satan as a good guy and God as a bad guy, because they're not really atheists. They understand the spiritual war, and they understand by leading people into atheism, they're literally making people into the dumbest possible human beings ever, because they don't even have a legitimate reason to believe in an existence, because the existence that they've been taught or why they're actually here could have literally been written by a 5-year-old. It is so far-fetched and ridiculous. It's not even open for debate, in my opinion. There's no need in debating somebody. Liars like the devil come up with these types of things to lead people away from God. That's been going on for a long time, and now it's become the norm in our society. So, should it surprise anybody that trending on YouTube is Has Been Hotel, and I'm about to play clips from the trailer for you, where you will see what they're trying to do here. Now, they use the musical type of theme. Of course they do, because this plays to one specific audience, right? This musical, embarrassing type of theme. Everything's a musical, everything's cookie cutter. It's really just a dystopian reality that they're creating. While hell's burning around them, these people are going to be singing it like it's a musical, because they still won't face the reality that's actually going on. If you actually study psychology, what you're seeing from people who identify as Democrats happens all the time. That people go to therapy for things like this, and it's just called a regression. Humans regressing is what it is. Of course, that's the irony of it all in Satan's inverted world, that these people who think they're progressive are really regressing back to childhood, like things like musicals. And then, of course, because they've been ingrained as narcissists, taking pictures of themselves every day, posting what they're doing every day, making announcements every time something happens, not even realizing that they're just formulated humans. These people don't realize that they have been completely manufactured, right? They've been completely manufactured. So while you're dealing with these narcissists, what you will deal with on the flip side is that they'll never address any of this childish behavior, because narcissists do not do that. So this trailer, of course, they'll defend it, and I'll show you some of the comments in the comment section of it. But I want you to keep an eye on the theme here. Wrapped up in all this embarrassingness, all of these signs and symbols, which I'll expose to you after I show you the clip, is the notion that all of these people are going to hell, and they're going to hell, and they want to be redeemed. And the only way they can be redeemed, of course, as everybody knows before going to hell, being redeemed, the only way you can be redeemed and saved is through the blood of Jesus Christ, is through faith in Jesus Christ. That's it. There's no secondary plan. You can be the nicest person on earth. You can hold the door open for every grandma that enters into Applebee's or whatever you want to do. It's through Christ. Your good deeds don't outweigh your bad deeds. You are saved through faith alone in Christ. So, the notion of this is all these people, it starts off by saying, do you like violence? Do you like sexual depravity? Do you like blood? Of course you do. That's why you're in hell, because of course we're all supposed to like these types of things. And you're in hell and you want to get to heaven, well, you got to be rehabbed in hell to get to heaven. And of course the angels in heaven laugh about it and all this stuff. So the angels and God are portrayed as bullies, as always. That's what's going on in society, right? And these Satanists are now going to wage war against God and his angels. Theme of Revelation, right? But let me play this trailer for you and keep an eye on that narrative about holding a fist up to the sky, because this pertains to Revelation, the book of Revelation, when it talks about Satan's army and how these people are going to react on Judgment Day. Even when God comes, they're going to raise a fist to him in anger. Here's a clip from the trailer for the newest show, which started off, might I add, as a YouTube show, which was picked up by Amazon. Of course, Jeff Bezos picked it up, and his satanic company, Amazon. Take a look.
Hello there, you wayward sinner. Do you like blood, violence, and depravity? Of course you do. That's why you're in hell. Your last desperate attempt at salvation starts here.
So, what do you think?
This place is about second chances to convince heaven the people of hell can be redeemed.
You're gonna help sinners?
Serious!
It's the first time in my life.
We got 24 hours. Where's an innocent kid I can sell crack to?
It is time to learn to hate.
There. Not just the stuff about, being bad, right? They're trying to get themselves into heaven. Well, the only way you can get into heaven is salvation through Christ. So this whole notion of your good deeds, this is part of the dystopian reality they're trying to create. You probably have heard me complain, but if you're new to it, I always just get annoyed and talk about how anytime somebody dies, everybody it's like an auto heaven. They're like, did you hear that Elvis Presley's daughter died? And you're like, what? And you're like, she's in heaven now. You're just like, why is she in heaven? How do you know she's in heaven? Oh, did she? Well, we would know she's in heaven if she was a true Christian and believe in Christ, because that's the only way to get to heaven, right? I mean, these people don't even believe in the Bible, but they believe in heaven. So, you hear all these atheists, etc. They're like, they're in heaven now. It's like, wait, that's biblical. Heaven and hell is biblical. No, you can't get that through to them. They're just, it's all fiction. Well, it's just a metaphor, they say, because they can't face reality. So anyway, anytime somebody dies, I love how I call them auto-heavening. They just go, so-and-so's in heaven now, looking down. It's like, how do you know? And even if somebody who isn't a follower of Christ, somebody gets killed in a horrible, terrific way, they're like, well, they're in heaven now. It's like, well, they weren't Christians, so no, they're not. So it makes it even more tragic. They never had a chance to get saved, right? So anyway, let's take a look at some of this stuff. Of course, like I said, you hear the notion of Satan's army, right? And how they're going to fight against, the angels coming, right? Now, what is this referencing? This is referencing in the Bible, the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 19. And I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth with their armies gathered to make war against him who was sitting on the horse and against his army. These people, this is Satan's army. Literally, they're showing you. And this is what they're building here on earth, is Satan's army. The other symbolism we see is the most basic, right? We always see the all-seeing eye symbolism. The main character has the all-seeing eye, has, the X over the eye. The X is a symbol of the Antichrist. I'll cover in a separate video. I've mentioned it many times in the past. I'm not positive I had a video on it. Can't keep up. Thousands of videos removed. But the X represents the Antichrist. That's why you hear the X so much in pop culture. Twitter turning to X. So I will probably cover it in a separate video. I've been meaning to get around to it. But the X over the eye, people don't understand much about the all-seeing eye symbolism. They just kind of look at it. They're like, yeah, well, that's on the back of the dollar bill, etc. Matthew chapter 5, verse 29. If your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away. For it is better that you lose one of your members than that your whole body be thrown into hell. Now, you might say, well, that's not the eye that they're showing here, right? We've seen Madonna do the all-seeing eye, the same exact thing with the X over the eye. They use what is there in our eye. Us looking at them is their right eye, but it's really their left eye, right? The reason for that is that they're not removing their right eye. They're removing their righteous eye and keeping their eye that causes them to sin because they're sinners. So the all-seeing eye, right? We see the all-seeing eye of Lucifer on the back of the dollar bill. Still, everybody thinks it's a conspiracy theory. Of course they do. They just refuse to wake up. So the character has the X over there. We see Madonna. We've seen the montage of all the celebrities with the all-seeing eye symbol. It's the most basic one. The Has-Been Hotel itself has the all-seeing eye symbol on it, right? No big deal. Everybody's so desensitized. They see this stuff now. It's like no big deal. And I get it. The notion of the show is about hell. So that maybe should wake people up to when, see these symbols in your day-to-day life, realize why these companies use these symbols, because this is who they're showing you their allegiance to, right? Like the pentagram. We see the upside down pentagram on this big clock tower with the hourglass on it, which is showing their time is up, and their time is certainly going to be up soon. You can see the pentagram right on it, right? I always do videos. I've done it for years about the pentagram. You used to be able to locate witches and stuff in your town via the star. You'd see a star on a tree. Obviously, I'm sure if some of you have seen a star, now you're desensitized and you think it's some type of fashion statement or a Dallas Cowboy fan. Now, of course, it's become so normal in our pop culture, you cannot identify a Satanist or a witch by them having a star on their door because it's being sold in every store. Okay, somebody has a Cowboys flag up, like I said, it doesn't mean that they're a Satanist or a witch because it's become normalized. Every corporation uses the pentagram and the star in their logo. Now, the pentagram with the lines through it, if you ever see it up, somebody would just say they left their Halloween decorations up. But back before we accepted all this insanity in our society, it was a way to identify witches in towns. Okay, witches would be identified through the signs and symbols. The same thing goes on today. You can identify a Satanist and a witch through signs and symbols. It's what they do on magazine covers. All the secret societies do it. They've constantly done it. They do it over and over in front of us. So one of the other things you may have noticed is that clip where the guy talks about selling crack to kids. Of course, they find this stuff funny. And again, these shows, they love to hide these things, cloak these things, and say that these are directed towards adults, right? Lots of curse words in it. Of course, they like to say it's directed towards adults, when in reality, all cartoons are really, they know that kids are going to get their hands on it because it's a cartoon, and it plays into teenagers and children, right? The same with that video game I just covered. Not a lot of people watch the video, but I did a video on Huggy Wuggy again. There's another one of these playtime video games out there, and they just go, hey, it's not for kids, but you know that kids are going to see the colors, the way that it plays out, and want to play it, and that's why they trend it on YouTube. So kids see this stuff. They're just liars, right? And they invert these things, and then they have their opt-outs, where they go, tell the parents to watch the kids, and they know very well that the parents aren't going to be watching the kids because the parents are distracted by all the other nonsense that they have them distracted with. So you see in that scene where he talks about selling crack to kids, right up on the mantle, that is it has multiple names, but it's really the sigil of Lucifer. Some call it the seal of Satan over the fireplace. Okay, you see that symbol right there? This is how subtly they put their satanic sigils in everything. Right above the fireplace. That's exactly the sigil of Lucifer, but you would never notice that, right? Nobody would notice it. No kid would get it. No parent would get it because we're not taught to see signs and symbols. But this is how you can identify people. This is how you can identify people in the occult. Identify people to keep your kids away from, etc. They put it in all this stuff. So while they try to pretend, they're like, this show is just a cartoon. It's goofy. We're making fun of heaven and hell. They know exactly what's going on. And yeah, you could say the all-seeing eye symbol is normal symbolism. Well, the sigil of Lucifer's in there. And what's their excuse? Oh, well, it's about hell. So of course we have the sigil of Lucifer. But they put it in there subtly. Right? Because they always put their signs and symbols in there subtly. You can even see the eyeballs in the wallpaper above, right? And then, of course, you saw as above, so below with the pentagram in the sky and the pentagram down below. Around almost looks like possibly a dome, right? A little dome there, a little firmament above, and you see the pentagram in the sky as well on the what is a red moon, a blood moon, and then they just go on to use their little joking humor, featuring the most devilish voices on Broadway. We know everybody on Broadway is probably a devil worshiper. And another thing I wanted to point out is in this shot too, there's multiple angles you can see here. We're just told that it's a lollipop, right? When they always have these spirals on the lollipop. Nobody has ever bought a lollipop. Can you tell me a lollipop in modern culture that has the spiral on it? I know they used to do it, but what is candy, known for? Lollipops known for, right? Giving kids candy, etc., to lure kids away. Well, the spiral itself, which I'm currently breaking down over on the website Uprising Revival, is one of the most important symbols to realize. It's on all children's products. You'll see it. That's, of course, because this has to do with a disgusting, dirty act with children that these people commit. And they use this symbol and they put it on businesses, they put it on pamphlets and flyers, etc., as a code word to let them know that they can access this at that certain location or through somebody involved in ownership at that location. They know. They communicate through signs and symbols. So you can see the spiral on the lollipop. They choose a lollipop because they're sick. And they can get away with this stuff, right? Now, modern lollipops, I don't think they have that. I know older lollipops used to have that, which is really, I believe, why the basis of that symbol was chosen, the spiral on there. But the spiral is also a symbol that is used in Wicca, and we always see the spiral with what? You're getting sleepy, you're getting dizzy with hypnosis. So it all does tie together because, of course, everybody is under a mass hypnosis. They think that witchcraft isn't real. They see shows like this and then they just go, well, it's for adults. Well, they're just trolling. They make excuse up after excuse for why this stuff exists in our society, when this stuff shouldn't be allowed to exist. And of course, when men were actually men and women were actually women, which was a different time period, nobody would have allowed this stuff to happen. But everybody's just confused. Satan is the author of confusion, has confused the whole world. And he's getting away with, doing this stuff right in front of us. And these people are protected, of course, and they have all these other things in place like hate speech, bullying, et cetera, et cetera. So that when you do expose this stuff, they're a protected group. Just like the video I recently put up about Etsy, right? I put a video up on Etsy here. If anyone didn't notice it, got a strike in, an hour? Maybe it was up for an hour. And all it was just showing you screenshots on Etsy of pictures that were being sold for a ridiculous price of money. And they had the symbols in the picture, and everybody knew what they were really doing because they were using it as a front. So when it happened, I got a strike for it. Why? Well, I'm bullying. Who am I bullying? I didn't say a specific person. I didn't say today I decided I was going to bully Tom Selleck and make a video making fun of his mustache where they could say, hey, you're making fun of him. You're hurting his feelings. We're going to give you a bullying strike. That itself would be ridiculous too. But literally when I show you stuff like that and I'm getting called for bullying, who do you think the protected people they're trying to protect are? Right? It certainly ain't the kids. So this is trending. It's no surprise that Amazon picked up this show, which once, of course, it started off as a YouTube type. It was pushed on YouTube and then, of course, purchased by Amazon. So, what a surprise, right? Because that happens every day. And then if you read the comment section, that's the last thing I want to show you, because this is just where you start to, you just look at the mindset of our society, how pathetic it is, right? Here's some of the quotes, right? The only past voice I liked better was Alistair's, right? So, of course, Alistair Crowley, one of the characters, is named after him. What a surprise. But I'm honestly so happy for Viv that she got the voices she wanted as the creator of these characters. I'm excited to see what she does with these new voices and actually get to know the character's personality that are not based on just the pilot. So this person's obviously a dystopian reality. This person is clueless. I mean, it's just, you're going to go to this person and when crap hits the fan, this person, I have a clue. They're going to be crying in a corner trying to take what you got. But my point being is that look how they even talk. This is how they formulate our society. The only past voice I like, first of all, who is this person talking to? Right? Like as if anyone even knows who this is. They're out there and they're just going, I'm so happy for Viv. They're talking. This person's talking about the fictional cartoons like the real people. I like better Alistair's voice of the past, but I'm so happy for Viv that she got the voices that she wanted. Oh, I mean, this is the mindset of people. This person's 520 likes. I don't think I've ever gotten 500 comments. Recently I've got 500 comments on it. I mean, this is the mindset, right? Here's somebody else so excited to see this in less than a month. Everyone looks and sounds incredible. This will be awesome, right? Honestly, I absolutely love the new cast. So happy it's finally coming. And lastly, also side note, this is an amazing trailer. I love the Archangel's design. Alistair using an all-powerful form, like 2 seconds in there, hearing the voices of Fox and Adam, and the animation is so this is the world they're living in. They're looking at this stuff. They're breaking down the animation. Every one of them, you can identify their politics as well because they're manufactured. Just look at their avatar. Every one of them has some type of anime character. Right? Not to make fun of anybody out there if you listen to this channel and you have one, but I'm saying, you could look at these people specifically, right? This is the world. They're living in a different reality. Then they hear people like us. They can't even grasp what we're saying. So the mind control that the media and the government has put on them is that they can't even think past their own shadow. They can't see past their own phone in front of their face. So they hear us. They've already automatically been trained to think that we're crazy, we're bullies, etc. They won't listen to any of this stuff. When all we're trying to do is wake them up from this dystopian hell that they're living in and show them what's really going on here. Is there still time for them to be saved? There's still time for them to wake up and prepare, and they don't want to. They're too busy trying to figure out if they like the color scheme in Hotel Hell or whatever this nightmare is, and they talk about it as if they know the characters, the fictional characters, or it's incredible. It's an incredible dystopia that we live in. So, obviously, again, just to recap, you saw the symbolism, the X over the I, over and over the pentagrams, the Antichrist X, it's the spiral right in front of us, the sigil of Lucifer right in front of us, and nobody says anything. Nobody says boo. Nobody shows you, they're literally showing you biblical stuff in all of these shows, all these music videos. Even in here, they're showing you that all of these Satan's minions, they're the good guys in this. The people who sin are the good guys. That's how crazy this is, right? And they're being portrayed as victims. And the big bully is the angels from heaven, the archangel. And they're holding a fist up to God, just like in Revelation says when the trumpet sounds. So, pretty incredible the world we're living in now, but not surprising, folks. Another nightmare, production being, of course, trending on YouTube because they want this stuff to be popular. It's done by design. They know that this type of mind control works easily on the dumbed-down masses, and I'm sure many parents will watch this and let their kids watch it too. It's a cartoon, but it's geared towards adults, so don't expect kids to watch it. We're not trying to brainwash anyone. Yeah, sure. I thank everybody for being here. Hope you're all doing well. God bless you as always, and your families.
It can bear over 4,000 times its own weight, and that's just the door hinge. Sturdy design down to the smallest detail, the Taos. Visit your Volkswagen dealer today and get 0% APR financing or $1,500 customer bonus on a new 2024 Taos.
Ladies, look at me. Now look at your man. Now look back at me. Now look. Hollywood has it a guess.